I'm from a grimy era, let's talk about it. Gotta keep a pole, can't walk without it. Did some things in the streets, but I won't talk about it. Seen some things in the streets, but I won't talk about it. I'm from a hood that's thorough, they don't play here. And they don't play on these blocks, it ain't a daycare. A new kid gets shot every day here. I guess that's why my heart colder than the rain there.
That's what's wrong with me.
dvderatv back at y'all with another one. Y'all know the slogan. Now let's get straight into this one. Now young QC aka Qaw'mane Wilson is an inspiring rapper and actor from Chicago. Qaw'mane had a pretty popular web series called Nick's Story in the early 2010s. Now young QC aka Qaw'mane was the son of Yolanda Holmes. Now Yolanda Holmes was a successful businesswoman from Chicago who owned her own beauty salon called Nappy Heads and often gave back to the community, and she often did back to school giveaways at her salon every year, supplying school supplies and hair services. Now young QC was the only child and he was well taken care of as a kid. His mom would even buy him a brand new Mustang for his 16th birthday. Now young QC mother Yolanda was well known in her neighborhood and very loved, and she didn't have any enemies. But on September 2nd, 2012, Yolanda would find herself in some trouble she didn't make it out of. Now Yolanda would be in bed sleep with her boyfriend Curtis when a man would walk in her apartment and shoot her directly in her head. Now the loud sound of the gun going North woke up her boyfriend Curtis, and he began to fight the intruder off, but Curtis would end up getting stabbed and hit with the gun, which knocked Curtis out. Now while Curtis was knocked out, the intruder would stab Yolanda several times before fleeing the apartment. Curtis would survive this attack and call 911, even though he was stabbed and hit in the head with the butt of the gun, which was left behind by the intruder. Now not only did the intruder leave behind the butt of the gun that was broken over Curtis' head, he would also leave behind the knife he did the stabbings with and a white earplug. Now when this situation first came out, they believed this was just a robbery that went wrong because people knew Yolanda was well off and always had money on her. Now cameras in Yolanda building would catch footage of a strange man coming in about 4:30 a.m. and leaving not too long after with a change of clothes on with only one earplug in. Now, detectives and family believe that Yolanda's boyfriend Curtis may have lined this whole situation up, and when he was questioned about this situation, he was very uncooperative and he didn't even show up to her funeral. But a year later in 2013, after her death, police was able to get a hold of Yolanda's phone records, and they would see the last call she received traced back to a man named Eugene Spencer. Now, Eugene Spencer was taken in for questioning, and detectives also ran DNA tests on the earbuds that was left behind on the scene. Now, being that the DNA test matched to Eugene, he would eventually tell detectives everything and confess to the murder of Yolanda Holmes and the stabbing of her boyfriend Curtis. He also would tell police he killed her because her own son, young QC, aka Qaw'mane Wilson, ordered the hit on her, and he would be paid $7K to do so because young QC said he'll get $90,000 in life insurance if his mother died because he was a beneficiary. Now, Eugene also gave up young QC because he was only paid $70 out of the $7K he was promised. Now, it's even said that young QC stayed on the phone with Eugene the whole time while he committed this murder on his mother. Now, it's said Qaw'mane Wilson was constantly messing up and getting fired from jobs his mom's helped him get, and she just was fed up with him. And just because he knew she was well off, he thought he could just keep being irresponsible and she'll be there to save him financially. But his mom's put her foot down and they fell out behind it. So he had her killed so he could come up on some money. Now, what made young QC kind of suspicious was instead of him mourning the death of his mom, he would be on social media blowing money and just trying to live a fast lifestyle. Now, young QC, aka Qaw'mane Wilson, would be convicted for the death of his mother and receive 99 years in prison. Eugene, the guy who was hired to carry out the murder on his mother, received 100 years in prison. And the female who was the getaway driver received 7 years in prison, and now she's a free woman. Now, I know this content is a little different from the content y'all used to me doing, but I found this story kind of interesting. Just a crazy situation that somebody would go this far and kill their moms for some insurance money to live a certain kind of lifestyle. Now, when they say money's the root of all evil, they never lie because it's definitely a wicked situation. Homie was on social media right after his moms died, throwing money, giving money to fans, and just trying to live some kind of fast lifestyle. Like, who would go as far as killing their moms who's well off to get a little piece of bread? Like, you would be better off getting in business with her. You know what I'm saying? Bringing something new to her business, teaming up with her and get money that way. That money will last way longer than a little 90,000. And this just goes to show you what some people would do for a quick dollar. And he even had the nerve to say before he was sentenced that his mother was all he had and he really loved her. But he went on and do this. Jump in my comment section and let me know what y'all feel. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend to tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out. 1.